Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, The Lost Years. That's a really long title. This is issue number 2 from IDW. So, yeah, I did a review for issue number 1. I did a review for every Last Ronin issue if you want to go check that out. But anyone who's like new to The Lost Years, this is basically a prequel and a sequel to The Last Ronin. So it covers 2 different timelines. It covers the timeline of Casey Marie Jones, who is April and Casey Jones's daughter, and her raising up the new generation of turtles. And it's also a flashback that takes place before The Last Ronin, where we see what Michelangelo did after all his brothers were killed, but before he came to New York City. And in the last issue, he ran away. He spent his life in the mountains. At first he was trying to kill himself, but then after a while he decided to live. And he was just chilling out in the mountains when he got attacked by these group of thugs. And he fought them off, and he saw this burnt village. And the leader who was commanding all these thugs to burn all these innocent people is called the Death Worm. And this issue we start off with Casey's story. But I'm going to skip all that because I'll be honest with you. Right now, Casey's segments are just pretty boring. Hopefully that will change. But I really don't have any interest in the new generation of turtles. Like, I guess it's nice to know that, the turtles aren't dead, I guess. Like, there's a new generation to take their place going on into the future. But none of them are all that interesting at this moment. And, there's just, even though I like April, and I do like the character of Casey, like, she was a good character in The Last Ronin, I don't really care. Like, I'm reading this more for Mike's story than anything else. So with Mikey, we see him. He after the village got burnt down by this psychopath called the Death Worm, he decides, I'm gonna run away. So this was kind of weird at first for me, like as I was reading this, because I was like, okay, you spent the entire first issue going over about how Mikey's running away from his problems, and then now you set up something for Mikey to do. You gave him a goal. The people who took care of him, the people who didn't have any problems with him being a mutant, they were all just completely butchered. And now instead of like getting revenge, Mike is just like, all right, I'm going to leave. And he dips out. And most of this is just him traveling. He sleeps during the day, travels by night, so less people will see him and hopefully won't discover he's immune. Meanwhile, he sees the ghosts of his brothers. And he has no idea if they're actually there or if he's just going crazy. If he's just like, he got concussed and now he's just seeing visions. But it's been basically 3 years since the village got burnt down. 3 years of him just running. So again, this is just one of those things where it's like, you had Mikey run away and then he spent who knows how long just hiding out in the wilderness. And then eventually he realized that he can't keep running away, because eventually problems are going to find him. And that problem was him being attacked, brutally got his butt kicked before he fought back and defeated the guys, and then seeing this village get destroyed. And then his first course of action is, okay, I'm going to run away again. Because running away really worked the first time. So yeah, he runs away again for 3 years. So, I don't know, are they going to do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, The Lost Years, The Lost Years, where we see what he did in those 3 years? But basically, he's just running away, and eventually he's on this ship, and the ship is going to make a stop at Korea before going over to Russia. When all of a sudden he sees these 2 guys, and they have tattoos on their chests. It's a tattoo of the Death Worm, so he knows which group they're affiliated with. And they decide to attack Mikey. And so one of them breaks the bottle, and the other one pulls out a switchblade, and they charge at him. And Mikey knocks out the guy with the switchblade by just kicking him in the chest, or in the stomach, I should say, knocks the wind out of him. This guy is lucky, because the other guy with the broken bottle, he tries to stab at Mikey, and Mikey basically bends his arm to force the guy to point the bottle at his own throat. And then he hits the hand, shoving the bottle into the guy's neck. So this dude's dead. And Mikey dives into the water, He's going to swim away. Once again, he's running away from his problems. And he almost drowns when he comes across this old man. And it turns out that the old man is Master Yip of the Hamato clan. He's Chinese, but he speaks Japanese. And he's a guy that Splinter was mentioning in his book. Like in his book, Splinter has nothing but praise for Master Yip. And so we just have this training montage where Mikey spends a lot of time undergoing training from Master Yip. Everything from washing the floors to different techniques. And eventually he completes his training. And as he's about to leave, Master Yip, he doesn't outright force a promise out of Mikey, but he kind of says, why are you going to, like, how do you expect to go to New York and defeat Hiroto if you can't even take on the Death Worm? Like, how can you seek justice against one enemy if you're spending your life running away from another? So that's when Mikey realizes, okay, before I can go back to New York and get revenge for my family, I have to defeat the Death Worm. I can't run away from this problem anymore. And so he goes to Korea, where the Death Worm, his hideout is, or at least where he believes the Death Worm is going to be. And he tries to gather clues on where exactly this Death Worm guy is hanging out at. And we get a little bit more, mostly fighting and stuff like that. But I don't want to spoil everything, so I'm going to stop it here. I will say that I enjoyed this for the most part. The artwork is great as always. I like the story they're telling. I will say, like, I am just a little bit confused about the Mikey constantly running away. I mean, at least here, he's finally like, okay, I can't run away from my problems anymore. I got to face them head on. But I thought that the first issue was going to be his wake-up call, where he gets attacked in his own home, and the villagers, like the nearby village that was helping him, also get brutally massacred. Like, I would assume that would be the wake-up call that, like, hey, you can't run away from your problems. Like, if you try to run away from your problems are just going to catch up to you. But instead, no, he continues to run away again for 3 years. So the thing that woke him up this time was just Master Yip pretty much saying, hey, like, how do you expect to go to New York and avenge your family and defeat one enemy if you're running away from another? Like, that was his wake-up call. I don't know. I felt like that was a little bit weak. I think the burning of the village should have been the wake-up call, but whatever. That's just my thoughts. All in all, like, I enjoy Mikey's story, and I didn't really discuss the future segments, you know, with Casey and the new generation of the Turtles. I didn't even like mention what is going on there. I just kind of said that there's a part in this issue with her in that group. And I will just say, like, in regards to that, I don't know. I wish it was a little bit better. Maybe it's just me. Anyone else who's reading the series, you tell me if the future timeline is interesting, like, for you. Like, if you are enjoying it. I personally am not. I'm reading this. I'm really enjoying Mikey's story. I don't really care about the new generation of Turtles. I'm hoping that changes. But at this point in time, like, I don't hate them. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't hate them, but I don't like them either. Like, I'm apathetic towards them. I don't really care either way. Like, I don't find them all that interesting at this point in time. So I'm hoping that changes. I'm hoping they get better. They get more interesting. That maybe we actually get a story there. It's just mostly like Casey just kind of training them and giving them life lessons. And it's like, all right, I feel like I'm reading like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the George Peterson story, where it's just like basic life lessons about like cleaning up after yourself and helping others when you can and stuff like that. It's like, okay, whatever. So yeah, in that regard, thankfully it's short. Like, here it's only a couple of pages and then it's done, and we're straight on to Mikey's story, which is just the more interesting aspect. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if there was another spin-off that focused on nothing but Casey and this new generation, I would pick it up just because it's the Turtles and I'll check it out. But I probably wouldn't. Nah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't. I don't know. I might give it like a read or two, but I'm not all that interested in it. Like, it's not something that I'd be really happy for. Like, I was really excited when we got the Lost Years because I freaking loved The Last Ronin. But let's say this series ends and then we get another spin-off and it's just about Casey and the new generation of turtles. I wouldn't be as excited because there's nothing there really at this point in time to really hook me. But thankfully, like I said, this is mostly Mikey's story. Casey's segment is only like a couple pages, and then the rest is just Mikey and his journey, which is the way it should be because it's an awesome journey so far. I really do enjoy it. So go check it out. There you go. There's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, The Lost Years, issue number 2 from IDW. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlists that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.